President Biden put on the table more tough border restrictions than any Democratic president in history, came to Congress, Republicans agreed with him, and then a bunch of Republicans walked away for political reasons. So I think he should do both. I think he should do the policy. I think he should say, here's some of the things we've already done. Here are things we're going to do more of. We need to get more resources. We need to get shorter wait times. We need to get all of those things that were in this bill. I hope he says all of that, but he should remind people that he came to the table and said yes, and conservative Republicans walked away from it to help Donald Trump. That's not an unfair thing to remind voters.
I've come here today to do what the Republicans in Congress refuse to do. Take the necessary steps to secure our border. 4 months ago, after weeks of intense negotiation between my staff and Democrats and Republicans, we came to a clear bipartisan deal. It was the strongest border security agreement in decades. But then, Republicans in Congress, not all, but walked away from it. Why? Because Donald Trump told them to. He told the Republicans, it has been published widely by many of you, that he didn't want to fix the issue. He wanted to use it to attack me. That's what he wanted to do. It was a cynical and an extremely cynical political move, and a complete disservice to the American people who are looking for us to not to weaponize the border, but to fix it.
And then President Biden says, look, what I would have preferred to do here, what is important to me is bipartisanship. And we had a process with the most conservative Republican on the issue of immigration, their think tank leader on the issue, James Lankford, a Republican from Oklahoma. And we allowed James Lankford, the Oklahoma Republican, to lead the process. And we basically gave Lankford what he wanted as part of a broader compromise that would have benefited the American people. And we had to make sure we made some changes there, but Lankford's deal was basically the Republican wish list. And this is what y'all have been railing about for all of this time. So we said, look, are there things we disagree with here? Sure. But we need to reach compromises in our country, so we'll make compromises on these issues. And then the MAGA Republicans killed the bill because one, Donald Trump ordered it to be killed. Here, play this clip.
Today, I'm joined by a bipartisan group of governors, members of Congress, mayors, law enforcement officials, most of whom live and work along the southern border. They know the border is not a political issue to be weaponized. Responsibility we have to share to do something about it. They don't have time for the games played in Washington, and neither do the American people. So today, I'm moving past Republican obstruction and using the executive authorities available to me as president to do what I can on my own to address the border. Frankly, I would have preferred to address this issue through a bipartisan legislation, because that's the only way to actually get the kind of system we have now that's broken, fixed, to hire more Border Patrol agents, more asylum officers, more judges. But Republicans have left me no choice.
And just so you can see Donald Trump saying and bragging that he killed the bill, I'll just show you a short portion.
And in this deal, which we, by the way, killed. I think we killed it. I think it's dead.
Right here is the Republican Senator, James Lankford, who led the negotiations on the bipartisan border deal. And here's what he said. He said, a top Republican told me that if I tried to move this bill through during this election year, that they would try to destroy me. Here, play this clip.
In fact, I had a popular commentator 4 weeks ago that I talked to that told me flat out, before they knew any of the contents of the bill, nothing was out at that point, that told me flat out, if you try to move a bill that solves the border crisis during this presidential year, I will do whatever I can to destroy you.
Here's the statement just issued by President Biden. Biden says, look, I would have preferred to address our issues at the border through bipartisan legislation because that's the only way to actually fix our broken system. But Republicans in Congress have left me no choice. And then he lays out the plan. The new executive order and action will bar immigrants who cross the southern border unlawfully from receiving asylum. It will strengthen the asylum screening process, new docket to address address cases and make decisions within 6 months versus 6 years, revoking visas of CEOs and government officials who profit from the exploitation of vulnerable migrants, expanding efforts to dismantle human smuggling and support immigration prosecutions, enhancing immigration enforcement, and seizing fentanyl at the border. And as the AP reports, President Biden rolls out a migration order that aims to shut down asylum requests at the U.S.-Mexico border if illegal crossings average 2,500 per day. Here's a statement just issued by Democratic Senator Mark Kelly. My statement on President Biden's new measure to limit daily unauthorized crossings along the U.S.-Mexico border. President Biden's plan is a welcome action that will help address urgent needs at the border. In Arizona, where Border Patrol agents and nonprofits are often overwhelmed by daily migrant crossings, this new effort will support their crucial work and help relieve border communities from the burden of our broken immigration system. But make no mistake, this is only necessary because Congress has failed to do its duty to help fix the border, and there's no substitute for that. The Senate has twice had the opportunity to take up an agreement negotiated by Republicans and Democrats to invest in more Border Patrol agents, technology, and personnel to stop fentanyl, officers to quickly screen asylum claims, and other lasting solutions. But both times, my Republican colleagues walked away. Today is a step forward for the federal government to better support Arizona, and I'll keep working with anyone to fix our border and our broken immigration system. And I just think that's well said right there.